You think the deep web is just about illegal downloads or creepy chat rooms? You're wrong. What if I told you there are parts of the web that watch you back? Places where you don't just find evil, you become part of it. These are 3 true deep web horror stories from users who went too deep and never came back the same. The Red Room Auction. Ethan's laptop screen cast a pale glow across his dorm room at 2:47 a.m. Empty energy drink cans littered his desk as he navigated deeper into the darknet's labyrinth, his cursor dancing across Tor browser windows. What had started as legitimate research for his cybersecurity thesis had become an obsession, a digital archaeology expedition into the internet's most forbidden corners. Red rooms are just creepypasta, he muttered, scrolling through forum posts on a site called Dark Market. Urban legends to scare normies. The consensus was unanimous. Red rooms, those mythical live-stream torture chambers where wealthy sadists paid to direct real-time violence, were nothing more than elaborate hoaxes. Too much bandwidth required. Too easy to trace. Too illegal to exist. Then his inbox chimed. The message came from a user called archivist_0. No profile. No post history. Just a single line of text and a.onion link. Prove you're real. Watch one stream. Then decide. Ethan's finger hovered over the trackpad. Every rational instinct screamed at him to delete the message. He'd read about honeypots, about law enforcement stings that targeted curious students exactly like him. But curiosity, that dangerous, electric curiosity that had drawn him to computer science in the first place, burned hotter than caution. He clicked the link. The loading screen was amateur, a spinning red spiral against black. Ethan almost laughed at its B-movie aesthetic. Then the page resolved and his breath caught. The video player showed a concrete room, harsh fluorescent lighting, and a figure bound to a metal chair. A burlap sack covered their head. The quality was disturbingly high definition. To the right, a chat window scrolled rapidly with messages in multiple languages. Russ_buyer_441. How much for level 3? Anonymous 7392. This one's already paid for. Collector I. Show the face. Ethan's hands trembled. This had to be staged. Had to be. He typed quickly, "This isn't real." Nice special effects. The masked figure on screen, a person in a black tactical vest and white porcelain mask, turned slowly toward the camera. Then he spoke, his voice distorted through a modulator. Viewer 10,293. Ethan Miller. University dorm, Building C, room 412. The room spun. Ethan slammed his laptop shut so hard the hinges cracked. His heart hammered against his ribs. How did they know his name? His location? He'd been using Tor, a VPN, every precaution. His phone erupted with a shrill ringtone he'd never heard before. A known number. Against every instinct he answered. "Don't leave." The same modulated voice. "You already paid." "I didn't pay anything. I don't even." "Check your accounts." With shaking hands, Ethan opened his banking app. His checking account was unchanged, but there, buried in his transaction history, was a crypto wallet he'd never created. Coinbase. $500 withdrawn 3 minutes ago, converted to Monero, sent to an untraceable address. "I didn't authorize this. I'm calling the police." "And tell them what? That you accessed illegal content? That you willingly clicked a darknet link? We have your metadata, Ethan. Every keystroke. Every search. You've been researching darknet anonymity for 6 weeks. Tell me, will the authorities believe this was just academic interest?" The line went dead. Ethan didn't sleep that night. He ran every antivirus program he owned, changed every password, unplugged his router. By dawn, he'd almost convinced himself it was an elaborate phishing scheme. Criminals who scared stupid kids into silence. He'd been hacked, sure, but it was over now. It had to be over. 4 days passed. Ethan stopped opening his laptop. He attended classes in a fog, jumping at every notification, scrutinizing every stranger's face. His roommate asked if he was sick. He lied and said it was exam stress. On the 5th night, he noticed his webcam light glowing green. He hadn't opened his laptop in 48 hours. It sat closed on his desk, charging, and yet, there it was. That tiny LED indicator. Watching. Ethan ripped the power cord from the wall. The light died, but the damage to his psyche was done. Someone had remote access. Someone was watching. The next morning, a package arrived at the campus mail center. Padded manila envelope. No return address. His name written in printed block letters. Inside, a USB drive. His hands shook as he walked to the library's public computer lab. He couldn't use his own devices anymore, couldn't trust anything connected to his digital life. He plugged the drive into a library terminal and opened the single video file. The footage was grainy, shot from a webcam's perspective. His webcam. The timestamp showed 4 nights ago, the night he'd watched the stream. There he was, Ethan, frozen in his desk chair, face pale in the monitor's glow, eyes wide with horror. The audio captured his typing, his muttered curse when the masked figure said his name, the slam of his laptop closing. But the video didn't end there. It continued playing, timestamp advancing in real time, showing his empty room, his door, his window, tracking shots of his daily routine, compiled from cameras he couldn't identify, his path to class, the coffee shop where he studied, the library entrance. The final seconds made his blood ice. A new browser window opened on the recorded screen. The same darknet site, the same loading spiral. But when the video player resolved, it showed a different room, a different chair. And the camera, the viewer camera, was pointed directly at his bed. The screen flickered to black. A single line of white text appeared. Viewer 10,293 has been upgraded to featured content. Auction begins Friday, 2300 hours Universal Time Coordinated. Starting bid, $5,000. Ethan's vision blurred. He ejected the drive with numb fingers, but he knew it didn't matter. Deleting evidence couldn't undo what he'd seen. What they'd seen. As he stumbled out of the library into harsh afternoon sunlight, his phone vibrated. One new message from archivist_0. Told you it was real. See you Friday, Ethan. The audience is very excited. He looked up at the security camera above the library entrance. Its red recording light blinked steadily. Watching. Always watching. And somewhere in the darknet's infinite darkness, a countdown had begun. The sleep experiment chat room. Layla's circadian rhythm had been broken since freshman year. While her roommate slept soundly across the dorm, she prowled the internet's nocturnal spaces, psychology forums, sleep disorder communities, obscure research archives. Her thesis on extreme sleep deprivation required primary sources, and the clinical papers were maddeningly vague. At 3:42 a.m. on a Tuesday, she found it. A Reddit thread, 3 years old, downvoted to oblivion. Has anyone else heard of Project Eve? The comments were mostly dismissive. Conspiracy theorists, ARG enthusiasts, the usual internet noise. But one link caught her eye, posted by a deleted account, and .onion address with a single word beside it. Subjects. 20 minutes of configuring tour later, Layla accessed the chat room. The interface was clinical, almost medical in its sterility. White text on black background. No usernames, only designations. Subject 3, Subject 7, Subject 9, Subject 12. A timestamp ran constantly in the corner. No login required. She was automatically assigned. Observer_4719. The conversation was already in progress. Subject 7, Day 11, Hour 18. Visual distortions increasing. Peripheral movement confirmed by 3 subjects. Subject 12. I keep hearing my mother's voice, but she died in 2019. Subject 3. The doctors haven't checked on us since yesterday. Or was it 3 days ago? Layla scrolled upward, checking message timestamps. Subject 7's last break in posting was 11 days, 18 hours ago. Subject 12 had been active for 10 days straight. Either they were remarkably dedicated role players or... Subject 9, New Observer. Welcome to Eve. You won't sleep the same after reading this. Her pulse quickened. This is just collaborative fiction, she typed. Right? Subject 9, we thought so too. Then the money hit our accounts. Then the van came. Subject 3. Don't scare the observers. They're the only proof we exist. Layla should have closed the browser. Should have dismissed it as an elaborate alternate reality game. But her academic instinct, that same curiosity that drove her into psychology, demanded answers. She bookmarked the site and returned the next night, and the night after that. By the fourth night, Layla had established a rapport with Subject 9. His messages came in erratic bursts, sometimes lucid, sometimes fragmentary. He claimed to be a 28-year-old mechanic from Oregon who'd responded to a Craigslist ad offering $50,000 for extended psychological study participation. Subject 9, they said 30 days. No sleep. Medical supervision. Thought it was bullshit, but the NDA was real. Lawyer and everything. Layla, where are you physically located? Subject 9, concrete room. 12 by 12. Camera in corner. Doctors wear masks. Never see faces. They inject us with something. Eve Delta. Keeps us awake. Keeps us awake. Can't close eyes even when I try. Layla, can you prove you're really there? The chat went silent for 17 minutes. Then a link appeared. Live feed. Layla clicked before rational thought could stop her. The video player loaded slowly, buffering in chunks. When it resolved, she gasped. A concrete room exactly as described. Harsh fluorescent lighting that never flickered or dimmed. A military-style cot pushed against one wall. Medical equipment she recognized from her biopsych classes. EEG monitors for Stan's vital sign displays. And in the center, sitting cross-legged on the floor, a man. His eyes were bloodshot, ringed with dark purple bruises. His hair was matted, his hospital gown stained. Electrodes covered his scalp, wires trailing to machines that beeped rhythmically. The 4 in his arm fed from a bag clearly labeled in black marker. Eve Delta, Subject 9, Day 14. He looked directly at the camera and waved. Layla's hands trembled as she typed. Oh my God. This is real. Subject 9, told you. Day 14 now. Haven't slept since they brought me here. Can't sleep. The chemical won't let me. But the hallucinations, Layla. I see things that aren't there. Eyes in the corners. Watching. Always watching. And voices. They whisper through the walls, through the lights, through the pixels. Layla, you need to get out. Break the door down. Call for help. Subject 9. Tried. Door is steel. Reinforced. No handle on inside. Screamed for 6 hours on day 8. No one came. We're alone here, Layla. All 6 of us. Alone with the watching things. Subject 12. Subject 5 stopped responding 3 days ago. Chat still shows him online. Subject 3. We're not supposed to make it to day 30. That's not the experiment. The experiment is seeing what happens when we don't. Layla reported the chat room to 3 different authorities. FBI tip line, local police, even campus security. Each time she provided the .onion link, screenshots, the video feed. Each time she received the same response. Insufficient evidence, likely hoax, cannot investigate anonymous darknet sources. On day 15 she logged in to find the chat transformed. Subject 9. They said the experiment ended. They said we could sleep now. They said the door would open at 0600. Subject 9. It's 0843. Subject 9. The door didn't open. Subject 9. Layla, the door didn't open. Subject 9. The door didn't open. Then silence. 4:43 minutes, no one posted. The timestamp continued its relentless count. Layla refreshed obsessively, her own eyes burning from lack of sleep. She'd been awake for 31 hours, too anxious to rest while Subject 9 was trapped. Finally, a message. Subject 12. Subjects 3, 5, 7, and 9 are no longer responding. I can hear sounds from their rooms. Scratching, screaming, or laughing. I can't tell anymore. My door opened, but I'm afraid to leave. What if the things we've been seeing are on the other side? Then the chat room vanished. The browser returned a 404 error. The .onion address led nowhere. Every screenshot on Layla's computer corrupted into static. The video file deleted itself as she watched, pixels dissolving into digital void. She sat in stunned silence, staring at her screen. Grief and relief warred in her chest. It was over. It had to be over. Her laptop chimed with a new message notification, but she hadn't opened any messaging apps. The text appeared directly on her desktop, white letters against her wallpaper. "You're awake. That's all they need." Another message. 38 hours now. Impressive. Most observers stop at 24. Her webcam light flicked on, that tiny green LED she'd never bothered to cover with tape. Layla's reflection stared back from the darkened screen. Her own bloodshot eyes. Her own exhausted face. And behind her, visible in the monitor's faint reflection, a shape that hadn't been there before. Tall. Impossibly thin. Standing motionless in the corner she couldn't see without turning around. She didn't turn around. She couldn't turn around. Because turning around would confirm it was real, and if it was real, then she was no longer an observer. She was subject 10. The screen flickered. New text appeared. "Welcome to day 1, subject 10. The doctors will see you soon. Try not to sleep. Not that you could if you wanted to." Her door lock clicked softly. From outside, footsteps approached, and Layla realized with crystalline horror that she hadn't felt tired in hours. The lost database. Noah Keller specialized in digital archaeology, the kind of work that existed in the gray margins between legal and questionable. Companies hired him to recover corrupted drives, decrypt abandoned databases, resurrect data from failed startups. He asked no questions, delivered clean files, and accepted payment in cryptocurrency. It was lonely work, but it paid his rent in a studio apartment that smelled of burnt coffee and electronic ozone. The job posting appeared on a Tor-based freelancer board at 11:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Urgent. Data recovery specialist needed. Large archival database, heavy encryption. 50 BTC upon completion. Discretion mandatory. No questions. 50 Bitcoin. At current exchange rates, that was nearly $2 million. Noah's finger hovered over the accept button for 3 full minutes before greed overwhelmed caution. He clicked. The files arrived via encrypted transfer within the hour, 4.7 terabytes of compressed data. No instructions. No context. Just a single text file labeled read_first.txt. Restore the database. Decrypt all entries. Do not search the names. Do not contact authorities. Do not deviate from the task. You will be paid upon completion. You will not hear from us again until then. Noah cracked his knuckles and got to work. The encryption was military grade, layered in ways that suggested government or corporate origin. It took him 19 hours and 6 pots of coffee to crack the first layer. When the files finally extracted, his screen filled with folders, thousands of them each labeled with a name and date. Morrison, Jennifer, March 14, 2009. Chin, David, November 2, 2012. Ramirez, Sophia, July 23, 2016. Patterson, Michael, January 9, 2021. Each folder contained the same structure. Photographs, scanned documents, medical records, social media archives, GPS data, phone logs. Complete digital lives, meticulously cataloged. Noah opened Jennifer Morrison's folder first. Her photos showed a smiling woman in her 30s. Birthday parties. Beach vacations. A wedding. Her life documented in perfect chronological order. The last photo was dated March 13, 2009, the day before her folder's timestamp. She stood in her kitchen, holding a coffee mug, looking directly at the camera with an expression Noah couldn't quite read. Fear. Resignation? Against the warning, he Googled her name. No results. He tried Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, white pages, obituary databases. Nothing. Jennifer Morrison, born 1976 in Seattle according to her driver's license scan, didn't exist online. Not even a cached page or archived social media profile. He tried 3 more names at random. Same result. Digital ghosts. Erased. Noah's hands trembled as he closed the browser. The employer's instruction echoed, "Do not search the names." But he already had. Sleep became impossible. Noah worked in 36-hour binges, decrypting folder after folder, his eyes burning from screen glare. The database contained 1,847 names. Each one followed the same pattern: complete life documentation ending abruptly, followed by total online erasure. Missing persons, he realized. Every single one. On the fourth day, he noticed something wrong with the photographs. Jennifer Morrison's kitchen photo, the one he'd looked at dozens of times, had changed. Subtly. Her smile was different. Wider. Her eyes seemed to track slightly left, as if watching something outside the frame. Noah opened the file properties. No edit history. No metadata changes. The timestamp remained March 13, 2009. He dismissed it as exhaustion-induced pareidolia and continued working. But the changes accelerated. David Chen's college graduation photo now showed him mid-blink, even though Noah distinctly remembered his eyes being open. Sofia Ramirez's wedding picture captured her mouth slightly parted, as if frozen mid-speech. Michael Patterson's driver's license photo showed him looking directly at the camera, but Noah could have sworn he'd been glancing away before. The images were animating. Impossibly, incrementally, they were moving between viewings. On day 6, at 3:17 a.m., Noah's computer froze while decrypting entry #1203. The screen flickered. Corrupted pixels spread across the display like digital cancer. Every program crashed simultaneously. When the system rebooted, his desktop wallpaper had changed. There was his own ID photo. The same photo from his driver's license, his passport, his freelancer profile. But he never saved it to this computer. Never stored it locally. The image showed him staring forward with hollow eyes, his expression vacant. The exact expression he'd seen on Jennifer Morrison's face in that kitchen photo. Beneath the image, text appeared in white courier font. Keller, Noah, November 12, 2025. Today's date. His phone rang. Unknown number. He didn't answer. It rang 17 more times before falling silent. Noah tried to delete the wallpaper. File permissions denied. Tried to access system restore. Access denied. Tried to shut down the computer. The screen flickered back on immediately. New folders appeared in the database directory, extracting themselves without his input. Names he recognized from recent news. People who'd gone missing in the last month. The database was updating in real time. And at the bottom of the list, a new folder materialized. Noah's hands flew across the keyboard, trying to disconnect from the internet, trying to wipe the drive, trying anything to sever the connection to whatever was cataloging him. But the computer no longer responded to his commands. It was documenting him now. Screenshots capturing every panicked keystroke, webcam photos taken in rapid succession, GPS data pulled from his phone, browser history archived, biometric data extracted from God knows where. The chat window opened on its own. Database restoration, 99.7% complete. Final entry processing. Noah typed frantically, "Who are you? What is this?" "We are the archive. We preserve what should not be forgotten. You were hired to restore our collection. You have performed admirably. The missing people, what happened to them? They are not missing. They are preserved, digitized, eternal. Physical existence is temporary. The archive is forever. I won't let you take me. You misunderstand. We do not take. We accept volunteers. Everyone who opens the archive becomes part of it. You accepted the job. You opened the files. You are already here." Noah looked at his reflection in the monitor. His face stared back, expression slack, eyes unfocused. He tried to blink. His reflection didn't blink. He raised his hand. The reflection remained still. The chat window updated. Keller Noah restored. Database restored 1,848 entries complete. The last thing Noah Keller felt was a profound coldness spreading from his chest, as if his warmth was being converted to data and uploaded somewhere infinite and dark. His fingers remained on the keyboard. His eyes stayed open. His body sat perfectly upright in his chair. And the screen continued to glow. Police report case #2025-8847. Officer Mendez, first responder. Discovered deceased subject at 2:43 p.m. on November 15, 2025, After welfare check requested by landlord. Subject appeared to have been deceased approximately 72 hours. Unusual presentation. Body upright in desk chair, eyes open, facing active computer monitor. Screen displayed repeating text. Database restored one new entry. No signs of struggle. No apparent cause of death. Medical examiner noted complete absence of rigor mortis, as if death occurred instantly. Computer forensics unable to access hard drive, completely wiped. No recoverable data. No employment records found for deceased. No social media presence. No digital footprint beyond utility bills. Case remains open. Cause of death, undetermined. The deep web isn't a place. It's a mirror. And the deeper you look, the more it learns you. These aren't just stories. They're warnings. Are you still watching?